Hey there guys, welcome back to Anything to Reviews, where Anything to Reviews. And I hope all of you guys are doing well out there. I know the world is kind of a crazy place right now, but I still want to go ahead and provide you guys with some content. So today, we're going to be looking at my Starscream collection. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Starscream is my favorite Transformer. I honestly wouldn't be a toy collector if it weren't for Starscream, so I figured I'd go ahead and show you my collection of Starscream figures here. I don't have the most, expansive Starscream collection or anything, but I have a lot of love for the character, and I have a lot of different variations that I'd like to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first figure that we have here is the Masterpiece Starscream. This is the OG Masterpiece Starscream. There's been some third-party ones and some even additional ones that Takara has made themselves, but this is the original Masterpiece Starscream. You can tell by the more realistic details about it and everything like that. It's got the little logo there with the crown and the shields. Really, really cool. I've always wanted to get the other Starscreams later. It's got these black sort of panel pieces that I'm not a huge fan of. But this is actually the only Starscream I have in vehicle form. And I feel like this is just a nice, hefty sort of way to see Starscream in his jet form. Not a lot of Transformers fans get to keep their Transformers in their vehicles because it's about the characters, it's about the robots. So out of all the Transformers figures I have, as far as Starscream is concerned, this is where we have the vehicle represented because it's the best looking interpretation of the F-15 in my opinion. I think it looks cool. So this is sort of the centerpiece of the collection here, and we're going to go ahead and go off of it from there. Alright. A little bit of a different direction. We have the movie Starscream. This is the Hunt for the Decepticons leader class Starscream. He does have his voice.
No one can defeat Starscream.
And then,
Decepticons will crush the Autobots.
so that's pretty cool. He's got his missile hand that transforms. You can plug in right there. He's a really big, hefty boy, I will say, which is, it's expected. He barely fits in frame. He's a gangly, weird guy. He's got a big Dorito body and the chicken legs. And everything that could be said about movie Starscream has been said. I'm not really going to sit here and rag on him too much, but there he is in that form of glory. I have it. I'm happy with that at least. Next piece we have here is a bit of an oddity. This is the Power of the Primes Voyager class Starscream. Now this is another example of, we don't really have a Starscream this wave, but we want to put out Starscream because he's one of the characters you always want to get, like Optimus and Megatron, and Starscream is always one of those. And if you make a Starscream, it's a good chance you'll get other characters along with it. So I believe this was based off of the Alita 1 mold, and they just repainted it to look like Starscream. He definitely doesn't look like the character normally looks like, other than, the head and, the paint. But, I like that he is different. That's kind of the thing you'll see here. There's a lot of different versions of the character. So to have another different version, that's fine with me. I honestly don't mind too much. We're just going to sit him right there. Okay. Next we have, hopefully a familiar face if you watch the channel, the Voyager class Movie 1 Starscream here. He's got the G1 colors and slightly G1-ish head. Once again, I did do a review of this guy on my channel, so please go ahead and check that out. I have a fondness for this guy. He's not a great figure, but something about him, he just brings nostalgia, so I appreciate that about him. Let's move this guy here. Let's see if that... Does that... it's gonna get little note. It's gonna get a little cramped. I'm not gonna lie. Speaking of different kinds of Starscreams, we have the Voyager class Transformers animated Starscream. This, of course, was voiced by Tom Kenny. Once again, very different kind of design, different colors. It's kind of a bummer that these colors aren't super accurate to the show. I wish they had done a version that was more the gray and purple as opposed to this more Thundercracker kind of looking guy. But look at that on the back. It's actually signed by Tom Kenny. A couple cons ago, I was able to meet Tom Kenny and had him sign this because I love his interpretation of Starscream. The Starscream that just wouldn't die. Bit of a gangly fellow. Not my favorite figure, but he represents a version of the character that I really like. So there's that. Alright, last movie one that we have here. This is the Studio Series Movie 1 Starscream. This is probably the most perfected that a sort of general retail movie Starscream will get. He's not too, bulky. He's got all the details there, so I like that about him. Not a great figure, but like I said, this is probably the best version of a movie Starscream that we'll get in figure form. IMO. Let's go ahead and tuck him there. Look at this. It's already, getting super crowded. Let's go ahead and go to a newer release. We have the new, let me see if I can get this right, War for Cybertron Earthrise Voyager Starscream. You'll notice a lot of these guys, they have different toy line names and classes and everything. Basically, if it's a sort of medium-sized character, that is a Voyager class. The big boy back there, that's a leader class, but this is a Voyager. This is honestly probably one of the best G1-looking Transformers toys out there. I love it. I love his face sculpt. I love the proportions. A lot of people will compare it to another figure that you'll see here, but rightfully so. This is perfect. If you want a Starscream figure, get this one. Honestly, it is absolutely fantastic. We're gonna sit you like there-ish. Sure. We may have to sort of back up here in a bit. I didn't think it would be this crowded. All right. Moving on to another similar kind of figure. This is the precursor to that one. This was last year's favorite figure of the year. This is the War for Cybertron Siege Starscream. So while that one has a more general G1, kind of similar to that middle one there, this is more of a Cybertronian design. So he still looks like Starscream. He's got the null rays and the reds and the blues and all that stuff. But as you can see, he looks like it's more like an alien kind of design to it. So if you transform him, he does that sort of triangle. What are those things called? I don't know. Either way, I'm blanking on it. I feel like I used to know the name. But, this is a really cool figure still. I think he's got some great detail, great paint. I wasn't crazy about the whole, war battle damage kind of look with the mud and things, because, it's metallic mud, I guess. But he's still a very nice looking figure. Let's see if we can tuck him in there. Just tuck him off to the side. I hope you guys are liking this. Alright, let's go to the smaller figures in my collection. We have here the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron, not to be confused with this War for Cybertron. The War for Cybertron here is the new toy line. This War for Cybertron was the original video game. He actually might be from Fall of Cybertron, now that I think about it. Is this making any sense to you people that don't know what I'm talking about? Either way, this is based on a video game. That's all that matters. He's got a very different shape. He's got more of the triangle bodies like them, but he keeps more elements from the sort of G1-esque designs. I actually quite like this guy. I think he's really cool looking. He looks different. Once again, when you buy a character and you have a lot of the same versions, you like to have a little variety here and there. Let's go ahead and go to the Transformers Generations Armada Starscream. So this is based off of both the IDW version as well as the sort of Armada cartoon version. So basically at one point in the comics, he took the form of a version that we had previously seen in a separate cartoon. And so that was an excuse to go ahead and give us that version in figure form. And you can have the shoulder pieces sort of flip up if you want more cartoon accuracy. He may have looked like this in the comics, but for more flush look, I do like this as well. But I don't know. It's just, I don't like the profile whenever you've got that going on. If these weren't like this, I probably would have it like this, but because of that, we get more of a jetpack kind of look. But he's a cool figure. He's a good looking guy. Let's just pop you right there, I guess. This may get a little chaotic, to be honest. As if it hasn't already. Alright, this one, I'm honestly not a huge fan of it, just because it's a little, I don't know. This is the Robots in Disguise Starscream. Robots in Disguise is sort of the kids' cartoon that's available on YouTube and Cartoon Network, I believe. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, this guy has this transforming gimmick that gives him the swivel, and his wings kind of do this. I don't know. It's definitely meant for kids, and that's fine, so it doesn't have to be great, but yeah, he's a little, very limited paint, not super great. Let's, where can we fit you in? Right there? Okay. Some of these guys are going to get covered by the end of it. One of my personal favorites, the Now, I don't remember if this was Universe or Generations at this point, but either way, this was the G1 colored sort of version of this. This is a deluxe class figure, so it's smaller than some of the other ones, but it's got that beautiful white and red and blue. You know, before I would say that Voyager came out, this was the Starscream figure to get if you want more of a standard sort of cartoon-esque, G1-esque version of Starscream. Let's go ahead and just fit you in there. Sure, okay. Going back to the cartoon, I realize now I called this one Robots in Disguise. This is not Robots in Disguise. This is Cyberverse. This is Robots in Disguise Starscream. I actually like this one a lot more than the other one. It's still kind of limited based, you know, the fact that it's more for a younger audience. But I like that, once again, his cape sort of wings here. I like that you're able to kind of get him in a sort of crossed arm pose. I like his big shoulders, reminiscent of the sort of King Starscream design from the movie. Like, I don't know, he's very regal looking, and I appreciate that about him. Can we get him? He's covering up. He's covering him up so bad. Oh my goodness. Did you guys even know that this was possible? Okay. Then we have the other version of that other Starscream. So this is the exact same figure as this guy, but he has more of like a, I don't know what you would call this design. This is more of a creative freedom design. You know, they were told to do a Starscream, but not G1 Starscream. So he's got like the gray, which is a bit more accurate, but he also just has like yellow, and like if you can see the wings here, they've got like a different design. So I like this figure for what it is. It's not one of my favorites, but I'm happy it exists, I guess. We'll put him there. One of my favorite versions of the Starscream character is the Transformers Prime Starscream. This was voiced by Steve Bloom. I have him in this sort of like, yes, Megatron kind of stance here. I quite like him a bit. He's very gangly, he's very thin. Yeah, I like this guy. It matches his character. You know, he's kind of like a slimy snake. And so to see him like that is really, really cool, in my opinion. He's covering up Armada Starscream, but there's only so much that I can do with that. And last, but certainly not least, I have the G1 Starscream figure. So if you guys want to see, you know, what happened because of this guy, this figure isn't great. You know, he's got like arms that can barely move, his fists detach. He's got his null rays. I've got it displayed like how like the box art has it displayed, I believe. Yeah, I mean, it's historic. It really is. Can you tell that that's a person? You know, I don't know, but it is. You know, like I said, it's where we all start. You got to start from somewhere, and because of this guy here, we got all this. And let's see if I can maybe like put him on the Masterpiece figure. That kind of works. My goodness. So there you guys go. There is a look at all of the Starscream figures that I own. You know, I've got movies, cartoons, toy exclusives, whatever. It's not the biggest collection of Starscream figures, but hey, it's mine, and I love it for that. You can't say that I don't, I guess. What's your favorite Starscream figure that I own? Is it one of the movie ones? Is it not? Let me know down in the comments below, and you know, like, share, check me out on my Instagram and Twitter at Anthony Lantern on both. Subscribe if you like, check out more videos, and I hope you guys, you know, you get through this whole issue that we're getting through. We can get through it, guys. It's all right. Take care.